Okay, so we only have 10 minutes today because we spent the first time a half hour talking about Mamdani, 35 minutes. Okay. Mishlei 25, 4-5. Hago sigi mikasa vayete letzoref Kelly. Hago rasha lifnei melach v'yikon b'tzedek kiso. I'm going to translate it just in the interest of time. If you have any disagreements, you can tell me. So hago is this weird word for remove. I don't know other places where it's used. It looks like from the BDB, it's not used very often. Remove sigim, which is dross. Okay, or metallic impurities from silver, vayete latzoref Kelly, and a vessel will emerge for the refiner. Okay, or I guess okay. I saw some translated. Okay, well, we'll see other translations in a second. Hago rasha mi lifnei melech, remove a. Oh, this is about Mamdani. No, remove a rasha. No, Mamdani is the melech here. This is remove a rasha from before the king. V'yikon b'tzedek kiso, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Okay, so that is that. Let's look at some minimalist mafarshim here. So Metzudas ציון says hagos inyan hasara, it means removal. Sigim is psolas hakesef, so the waste material in silver. Okay, just basic facts here. You mine silver from the mine, okay, and it is silver ore mixed in with other metals and minerals and rocks. And the way it works is you heat it in a crucible, it melts, and I guess there are different melting points, different densities, and the things separate like water and oil. And then you can, I always forget if you take off the silver or you take off the dross, whatever it is. Okay, fine. Okay, Sadigon says in his translation, just as when you remove the dross from the silver, a good vessel will emerge for the refiner. Kach, so too, kasher tege es harasha, when you remove the rasha milifnei hamelech, from before the king, yikon kiso b'tzedek, his throne will be established in righteousness. I don't see a huge difference between his translation and our translation. Okay, I'm going to ignore the Targum just for time. Our scroll says, when dross is removed from silver, a vessel can emerge for the refiner. When an evildoer is removed from the king, his throne is established in righteousness. That's the same as ours. But Hirsch has a weird one. The dross has been separated from the silver if the goldsmith has succeeded in making the vessel. He reverses it. So separate the lawless from the king's surroundings, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Okay, we'll leave that one because that's different. Alter says, remove the dross from silver, and for the refiner the vessel comes out. Remove the wicked man from the king's presence, and his throne is firm founded in justice. Alter and Ibn Kaspi mentioned that this is a style of Mishlei pasuk that we'll see more commonly in this section of Mishlei, which is basically one pasuk stretched over the length of two pasukim. So each pasuk is like a half of a pasuk. Okay. So yeah, you have a question? Why that is, that's two. No. Actually, let me just look at the Ibn Kaspi just to see what he says. I can't remember if he comments on that part. He says, because the Hishita, unlike our good new friends like Rav Sheshes ben Yitzchak Garondi and Rabbi Mizrachia, says we don't expound on juxtapositions in this book. Except in some of them, we'll let you know that the smichus of the psukim is proper. So too with this category. The first pasuk dalet is a mashal for what comes after it, just like a half of a pasuk. Nezem zahav ba'af chazir. Everything fits out, works out in the language. Yeah, so I don't know if we know why. Okay. Okay, so let's just move all this upstairs and then ask our questions here. And again, I imagine that our questions will be fewer here than usual. Okay, what are the questions? Yeah.
Does that happen when you mail out?
Okay, that's my main question. Okay, and this is where I mentioned this in the chat that I have this upshot on this pasuk, and I'm pretty sure I've taught it here because this is kind of like, it's not just upshot, but it's fundamental to my methodology of Mishlei. Not fundamental. It's a tool in my Mishlei toolkit, and it stems from this question, which is that the pasuk makes it sound like a kli, like automatically emerges for the refiner, but that's not true. Sorry, once he removes the dross. Okay, but that's not true. Okay, and in fact, now I'm pretty sure this is the case. I saw someone translate. Do you know what a smelter is?
Smelt or
Yeah, is that the same as a refiner? Is it just a fancy word for?
No, that's what they're before refiner. No.
Let's see.
That's the thing that like combines metals. You like.
Extract metal from its ore. Okay, fine. So it's the same thing as a refiner. Never mind. Yeah, fine. All right. So that's just another translation. Okay. So in fact, so here's the other thing. I think this is part of the same question. Is the tzoref is not the one who makes the kli, right? That's the silversmith. Now I don't know if tzoref is ever used for silversmith, but plain shot, the words the verb of saraf is to refine. So like, I think he ships off the pure silver to someone who actually like is a what do you call a metal worker in Hebrew? In a v'yaka pekude. I know I'm going through the terms also.
Is it Choresh?
Yeah, it might be Choresh. Yeah, strange, right? I guess because you're engraving, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. All right, whatever. So I think that's a big question. Okay, what else? Yeah, Isaac.
What does it mean to remove Russia from before the king?
Yeah, what does it to remove a Russia from before the king? And I guess we could break both questions.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say before, and what is the situation after?
Yeah. Also, what is the practical thing that you are actually doing to do that?
Okay, where's the practical definition of hago? Now, there might not be one practical definition, right? Like it might be different types of removal. Yeah. I'm going to say what's the subject? What's the subject of this pasuk? And again, we are in a cluster of pasukim about kings, but that does not mean that everyone's just kings. We can be more specific here. And then what's the decision-making scenario? What are its parameters? Yeah.
For a king who's currently being advised by Russia.
Right. Who is the audience? Okay. If this is for a king who is currently being advised by or is in the vicinity of a Russia, okay, so then does he know about that Russia, or not? If so, why? What is his havamina? Okay, and then if not, how is he supposed to detect him? And then if the audience is for someone else, who is that person? And what what is his role here? Yeah, right. Yeah. Amazing how good of an example the Purim story is. It's almost as if it's the model for how people should operate with Chachma in this world. Yeah, Moshe?
Where does the tzidkus emerge from? Is it just that it was always...
Yeah, right. How exactly, let me put this up here. How exactly does this quality of tzedek emerge? And then I'm also going to ask, what are the implications of yikon kiso? Kiso. Does this mean it will last like a long time, or be protected, or something else? Not exactly the clearest thing. Yeah, Moshe?
Does the analogy of silver go further than just the removing the adulteration, or is there something
right? Okay, so what are the implications of the mashal of silver? Is this just an example of a valuable substance with adulterants, or are there more implications? So, for example, silver rather than gold, or tzoref, teaches us about who Mishlei is talking to, yeah. Okay, so we can think about this. I have my pshat. Unfortunately, there are not huge variety of interpretations in the Mefarshim, but enough to keep us going for the half hour for tomorrow. Okay. All right. Have a good day. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm glad we got both portions in, even if it was